If you're starting a YouTube channel or a podcast, then don't make the same mistakes that I did. Today I want to talk about my 3 biggest rookie errors when I started my channel. Grab your cup of tea and let's dive into it. As I prepared my topic for this video, I had just clicked over into having 150 episodes on my YouTube channel and my podcast. And I wanted to think about how I could celebrate this milestone. And I know I could have just posted a graphic on social media celebrating it. But what I wanted to do was to actually think about what I've learned from those 150 videos and to reflect on some of those lessons. And I really wanted to distill this down into the 3 biggest areas that have shaped my growth since. The first mistake that I made was to focus on quality over quantity. Now, I know that this can sound unconventional or counterintuitive, but stick with me because there is a reason why. I know that when you are first starting a YouTube channel, it's really easy to focus on perfecting your videos as much as you can. You're taking it as seriously as you possibly can, and you want everything to be the most perfectly polished version of your idea before you actually publish it. But the key could actually lie in the quantity of work that you produce as opposed to the quality. Now, of course, quality is important. You want to provide a good experience for the people that are viewing your video, but there is more to it than that, and why I feel that quantity is now a priority over quality. So let me break down some of my thinking for this for you. This was an idea that really resonated with me when I read Adam Grant's book, The Originals, and he highlights the fact that we have to kiss a few frogs to find our Prince Charming, the idea of quantity over quality. This is something that the best creatives throughout history have understood. In the book, Grant says, creative geniuses weren't qualitatively better in their fields than their peers. They simply produced a greater volume of work which gave them more variation and a higher chance of originality. So let's break this down into some examples and start with Picasso. So Picasso is said to have had over 1,800 paintings, over 1,200 sculptures and 1,200 drawings and over 2,800 ceramics, and he also had prints, rugs and tapestries as well. And only a small portion of this entire body of work is the reason that he is revered for the artist that he is today. And this is also reflected in the work of William Shakespeare. So in the period of 5 years, he produced 3 of his most popular pieces. That was Macbeth, King Lear and Othello. But in that same window of 5 years, he also produced what is considered some of his worst work. So in that same period of time, he had his most popular pieces and he had his worst pieces. So it just goes to show that it is the quantity that was able to help him achieve that quality. And this is also true when it comes to someone like Einstein, for example. While he is celebrated as completely transforming physics, for example, much of his 248 publications had little impact. So when it comes to your ideas for YouTube and the strategy that you take for YouTube, don't let you chasing perfection hold you back from the potential that you have in the quantity that you produce. Because while quality is important, it is the quantity and how much you are producing that is going to help you to get to higher standards of quality. And this lends itself nicely to mistake number 2, which is not failing fast enough. So you might have heard the phrase, throw spaghetti at the wall and see what sticks. And over time, I've seen this evolve into phrases that you might have heard in the workplace or in business, like a spray and pray approach. And usually that's not normally considered a really effective strategy. And sometimes it's used with a bit of a condescending tone because more people see a really clear strategy as being more beneficial. But some of the science supports that throwing spaghetti on the wall could actually be the best way to achieve success. So there was an experiment that was conducted, and I believe it was called the spaghetti problem. And in it, the participants were given 18 minutes to build the tallest structure that they could using 20 pieces of spaghetti, 1 meter of tape, using a piece of string, and also using 1 marshmallow. And this experiment was conducted over 5 years with over 700 participants, and it engaged everyone from engineers to managers to MBA candidates as well. And through all of that experimenting, there was one group that outperformed the other groups, and that was children in kindergarten. And fun fact, people with an MBA actually performed the lowest. And the reason why the children were so successful was because they were willing to try everything. They were willing to dive in and to throw everything that they had at it. They were willing to fail, and they were willing to fail quicker than the rest of the participants, which saw them be more successful than the rest of the participants. So when we go back to my first point about quantity over quality, this means that your quantity is actually going to help you to fail quicker, which means that eventually you will be able to succeed quicker than had you not embraced this idea of failure. And my mistake number 3 is forgetting that I'm sometimes not that smart and actually just lucky. When I read Ashali and Tassan Kubar's The Unfair Advantage, this quickly became one of my favorite books, which I love to talk about on this channel. But I do feel that there was an element of this book that I had been overlooking until more recently. So in the book, the authors share their Miles framework, and that encompasses money. It encompasses your intelligence and your insights, your location and your luck, your education and your expertise, and also your status. And the unfair advantage proposes that you already have the competitive edge that you need to succeed. The key is leveraging it. And it challenges 2 different schools of thought. So there is meritocracy, which says that hard work deserves success. And that is opposed to fatalism, which says that success is a combination of, for example, luck, timing, natural talent as opposed to learned talent, and also an element of fate as well. And they propose that the secret is probably somewhere in the middle. It's a combination of both hard work and luck. And I do think that it's the luck element that we are sometimes overlooking when it comes to all of our preparation for these big projects that we might take on. And it's often an element that can be overlooked in many success stories. So if, for example, you take someone like Bill Gates actually went to one of the only schools at the time that had a state-of-the-art computer. And this is something that is often an overlooked detail in his story. So obviously he had hard work as a part of his story as well, but there was an element of luck to his circumstances as well. And so I have realized that when it comes to YouTube, no matter the amount of work that you put in or the amount of pre-planning that you put in, there is always going to be some element of luck when it comes to your successes and your failures on YouTube. Say, for example, there is another creator who has created a video that goes viral on a particular topic, and you actually have videos relating to that topic. To a degree, you might actually be riding the coattails of that other person's success, which you have had actually nothing to do with. But your preparation has allowed you to be able to leverage some of that opportunity. So I feel that that is the key when it comes to YouTube, is understanding that it's not all about the hard work that you put in, and it's not all about getting lucky with some viral content. It is somewhere in the middle. It's about creating your own luck through the preparation that you have done. But how do you create your own luck? And there has been some research that has been done into lucky people versus unlucky people, and it has studied thousands of people, and it showed that lucky people are simply just willing to try more things. They are more open to new experiences, and they are less neurotic. So to put this really simply, lucky people simply try stuff. So when it comes to your YouTube channel, then consider how you can just have this experimental mindset to just be trying things, because that is what is going to help you eventually find what works. If you are starting a YouTube channel, then before you do, check out out my previous episode on 50 tiny tips for YouTube beginners. Thanks so much, and I'll see you in the next episode.